So, you know the story of Romeo and Juliet, right? Of course you do. But what if it didn't have to end in tragedy? Today, we're diving into a really beautiful Khmer take on this classic tale, the story of Dara and Strapo.
Yeah, it feels like it's almost a rule, doesn't it? Star-crossed lovers. It's just destined to end badly. But what if? What if it could end in hope instead? In a small Cambodian village, this story gets a whole new life. It's not just about forbidden love anymore. It's a story about healing and about finding peace.
Okay, so picture this. Our story starts in Darantre, this village that on the surface looks completely peaceful, right by the Tonle Sap River. But, looks can be deceiving. Underneath it all, there's this really bitter, ancient feud between two major families, and it casts this long, dark shadow over everything.
So on one side, you've got the Savan family. They're famous for their incredible rice fields. I mean, they basically feed the village. And on the other side, the Chan family. They're these highly respected traders of beautiful, exquisite Khmer silk. You'd think they'd be allies, right? Both pillars of the community, but nope. They're separated by this feud over farmland that goes back generations. But of course, just like in the original story, love has a way of showing up where you least expect it. And in this village, it all happens right in the middle of their biggest, most vibrant celebration of the year, the Khmer New Year.
The whole village is there, gathered at the pagoda. You can just imagine it, right? The air is filled with the smell of incense. You can hear the monks chanting blessings. It's a magical night. And the big event, the highlight of the whole festival, is the traditional dance. And guess who's taking the stage this year? Sreoprov from the Chan family, performing the absolutely mesmerizing Apsara dance.
And who's watching from the crowd? None other than Dara, the quiet, poetic son from the rival Sovan family. And as he watches Srepov move in this shimmering golden silk, he is just completely captivated. In that one moment, all those generations of hate between their families, it just disappears. It is classic, beautiful, love at first sight.
So, after that night, you know what happens. They start meeting in secret. They find this quiet little lotus pond behind the pagoda, and it becomes their spot, their sanctuary. Away from everyone's prying eyes, they build this little world just for themselves. And it's a world built not on old family feuds, but on sharing their dreams, their music, and Dara's beautiful poetry. And Dara would write these incredible poems for Srepo, and she treasured every single word. This wasn't just some teenage crush, it was a really deep, meaningful connection that was just getting stronger and stronger with every secret they shared.
But you know how these things go, especially in a small village. Secrets don't stay secret for long. And just as their love was really starting to blossom, the heavy hand of tradition and family honor comes crashing down, threatening to destroy everything they'd built.
And then, bam, the crisis hits, and it hits fast. Rumors start flying, whispers that Srepov has been seen with a Savan boy. Her parents hear about it, and they don't hesitate. They immediately arrange her marriage to some wealthy suitor from another family. From their point of view, they're just trying to secure her future and, honestly, save the family's reputation. And it's really important to understand this. Her father wasn't being malicious. For him, this was all about a deep, deep sense of duty. In his mind, he was doing the right thing, protecting his family's honor, making sure his daughter had a secure future, even if it meant breaking her heart in the process.
Okay, and this is where our story really breaks away from the tragic path we expect. Instead of just giving up or doing something drastic, Dara and Srepov, they choose a totally different way forward. A path of incredible courage and, honestly, a lot of wisdom. So Dara, feeling pretty hopeless, decides to go see Lukkru Sopheak. He's this incredibly wise and respected monk who knows both families and their whole history. And get this, Dara doesn't go to him asking for a secret plan to run away. No, he goes asking for real advice on how to actually heal this thing. And the monk gives him this piece of wisdom that just changes the entire game. He tells him, look, your love isn't the problem here. The problem is the generations of hate. He tells them, don't run. Face this. Face it with honesty and face it with patience. So they listen to him, and they take that first, incredibly brave step. They talk to their parents, honestly. And that one single act of courage starts this domino effect. It gets the village chief and the monk involved, and they call a huge community meeting. For the very first time, both families are forced to sit down and actually confront the ugly history that's been tearing them apart.
And this is the real climax of the story. It's not a sword fight, it's not some tragic misunderstanding. It's a difficult, honest conversation. The entire village is at a crossroads. Are they going to keep this cycle of hate going, or are they finally going to choose forgiveness? And slowly but surely, something starts to change. That stubborn pride that fueled this feud for so long, it starts to crack. It gives way to this fragile new sense of unity. Misunderstanding starts to turn into forgiveness, and all that pain that was passed down from parent to child, it finally starts to fade, making room for a future where maybe, just maybe, they can all be happy together. And then the story comes beautifully full circle. Exactly 1 year after they first met, at the next Khmer New Year, the Savan and Chan families actually come together. They hold a joint blessing ceremony. And it's not a wedding. It's something so much bigger than that. It's a public promise, a declaration that the fight is over, and a new shared future is beginning.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? I think it's a really powerful one. Even the oldest, deepest conflicts can be healed. It just takes bravery to speak your truth, the honesty to actually listen to the other side, and a real, conscious choice to pick peace over hate.
And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? Dara and Srepov didn't just find love for themselves, they healed their entire community. It kind of makes you wonder, what about the old conflicts in our own lives, in our families, at our jobs, in our own communities? What could be healed if we just chose that same path of courage and understanding?